Well, good evening and welcome to another episode of Fast Break. It is episode 8. Holy moly. It is episode 8. Ray Halbrook here from Livestream STL. Thanks for being with us tonight. And this is a show where we recap the entire Jefferson County Conference along with the NJCAA as well. The NJCAA has wrapped up, but there are still two teams left. And the JCAA, we're down to about 2 or 3 as well. So, Scotty, my friend, Scotty Lotta with us here, and it's been a fun, wintertime already here.
This is uncharted territory for us. Previous seasons, we get like 4 or 5 episodes.
Right.
So 8, and it's kind of a milestone.
Yeah, it is a milestone. I love it.
Hi, this is Bill Rubel with APB Storage. APB Storage is a locally owned and operated family business that offers the best storage solutions in the Jefferson County area. Our electronic gate gives you 24-hour access to your storage unit, and our state-of-the-art security system provides peace of mind and security. All of the units provide an easy access drive-up doors to allow a stress-free way to your unit. Come see why people prefer the APB storage experience. Give us a call at 636-464-5629 or visit us online at apbstorage.com.
Church is more than just an hour in a pew every Sunday. It's a community. It's where you can come as you are. It's a place where you can connect with God, learn from Scripture, and grow as you build relationships. It's a place where it's okay to be a work in progress. At Faith Community, you'll find an authentic group of people who are pursuing God and supporting one another along the way as we move from where we are to where God wants us to be. Wherever you're at on your journey, you are welcome here.
At Girardi Agency Missouri Farm Bureau, we're dedicated to safeguarding your present and securing your future. Whether it's auto, home, life, health, or business insurance, we offer comprehensive coverage tailored to your needs. We would love the opportunity to earn your business. Our office has been located in Hillsborough for over 30 years. Please contact our office today for a quote, 636-797-5800.
Let's get started here right away here with the Region 16 standings of the women's NJCAA and the North Central Pirates, who are still in the hunt here for a possible at-large bid, if I remember right. Oh, no, they actually are if they win, they will be in the national championship playing some pretty big teams there at 23-7.
Some people call that controlling your own destiny.
You control your own destiny. I love that. 17-9 for the Lady Vikings. Metropolitan Wolves went 8-17, and hey, the STLCC Archers, they didn't go 0-30,
no,
but they did go 0-29, unfortunately. So we take a look into that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, there's always next year, and you take a look at that team there, just kind of still trying to get themselves back into the swing of things, being their second year here as well. So, looking on the outside, looking into that whole thing, I mean, you've got a couple of years here that you can find ways to build.
Every program like that, you're going to have to take a couple of years to ramp up.
I agree. And thoughts on the NJCAA here, the Region 16 ladies?
Fun year. Got to enjoy some ladies action this year with Jeffco and obviously with the Lady Archers. But how about the first season under the belt for Jacayla Kirk?
Yes, absolutely. Love that. And Coach C.B. Walker also taking a look into just continuing to build both programs here, the ladies and the men's. Was real excited for the men, the Archers men, knocking off North Central, giving them their only loss of the season so far.
And the scheduling gods that be, allowed us to align and give you that game.
Yes. And let's take a look at the men here real quick. And their schedules or their records. They're 30-1 for North Central. Again, we talked about that one loss there to the 14-15 St. Louis Community College Archers there. The Metropolitan Wolves end up 16-14, and the Viking men, they're 10-18, still reputable. And like I said, I spent, the last 2 years here, and you still see continuously seeing growth here for the Viking men.
Double-digit wins and there's nothing to sneeze at. Obviously, Coach C.B. Walker put his stamp all over both of these programs, but, I mean, sky's the limit.
Absolutely. We're going to buzz through here, jump right over here straight up to the JCAA small school standings. The reason why we're doing this right now is because we really want to spend some time here allowing the coaches from the JCAA champions here to have the floor for this particular episode. So 26-3 for the St. Vincent Indians. They're still in the hunt here. They are going to the Final Four. 26-3, 4-0. And we are going to have Coach Kern on here in a little bit to talk to him about that particular the season so far.
Yeah, they got a little time off here. They play again on the 14th against Tipton, which is 26-4.
There you go. The Lady Blue Jays here from Jefferson, 14-12 on the season. There, 3-1 on the conference as well. The surprise team again, the Crystal City Hornets at 11-16, 0-4 unfortunately in the conference there, but your Grandview Eagles 9-13, 2-2 the conference there, and my Herculaneum Black Cats 6-21, 1-3. And your thoughts? I'm just jumping your thoughts on the small school ladies.
Small school ladies, obviously, you got to take your cap off to St. Vincent's. I mean, that is a impressive run. They obviously won their district. They're a couple of games into the sectionals already. Just kind of looking at the other ones, I mean, the Crystal City Hornets, I mean, you go from a 2-win season last year to 11 wins this year.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah.
But, I mean, St. Vincent's and Crystal, and then Jefferson had a solid year, 14-12, nothing to sneeze at. And then, obviously Grandview and Herculaneum, obviously they're kind of a little bit of growing pains, but, we'll see what next year brings.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next season here with both of those two organizations as far as, where they're at right now. And, Grandview, they lose Catherine Wakeland.
Graduating the second Wakeland, and then also Herky, graduating Jarvis. So.
Yep, same thing there. So it's going to be an interesting season to see what ends up, or who ends up kind of rising to the top for both of those programs there. Over to the boys, and we'll get that rolling right now, and it looks a little bit like this. 20-9 for the Jefferson Blue Jays. Unfortunately, they just got knocked out Friday night here by Woodland there, and they end up 4-0, perfect 4-0. We'll have Coach Bellmeyer on here shortly. The St. Vincent Indians 13-12, 3-1 on the conference. The Grandview Eagles 7-16, 2-2 in the conference. Crystal City 4-23, 1-3 in the conference, and the 0-4 in the conference. 3-22 Herculaneum Black Cats. You definitely tip your cap to Jefferson. I mean, they've had an amazing season, and what's great is they're only losing one senior, so there's a ton of things to build on for next season as well.
Yeah, the scary thing about it is you look at their record at 20-9 is where they finished. I believe they got to round 2 of the sectionals. They started off the season 5-6.
Right.
So, I mean, 5-6 to finishing the second round of the sectionals. I think you ask any coach in the region, they'll be like, where do I sign up?
Exactly. Move over to the large schools here real quick. Large schools look a little bit like this. Hillsboro still in the hunt here, 25-2 on the season, 7-1. Co-champs with the 20-6 Festus Tigers there, 7-1 as well. Windsor had a pretty reputable season here, 12-12 there, 3-5 on the conference, 11-16 for DeSoto, 1-7 in the conference, and 9-18 for Perryville, 2-6 in the conference. Didn't see a whole lot of Perryville, but the top two. We take a look at the top two here, Hillsboro and Festus, and is it just put the record on and hit repeat? It definitely seems like it's been like that for like the last 5-10 years.
I don't know if I'd go back that far, but definitely in recent history. I mean, obviously, you look at Hillsboro, they're pretty much running lockstep with what they did last year, and then you bring in Portell, to a Festus organization that is, very well run. We've had Coach Therrell, the AD, speak with us, but and just another note on Hillsboro, they play Farmington on the 11th, which I believe is Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday, and then the winner
That will be the
could
district
host.
championship.
Yeah, winner could host as well. We'll stay tuned on that as well, and we're hoping to maybe cover that. Well, we'll see what happens at that one there. Jumping over to the men, the boys, I should say, boys side here on the large schools. 19-7, the Windsor Owls, they go 8-0. Unfortunately, they are in such a tough district, I should say, that they've already been knocked out. They unfortunately got the bad pill with
St. Mary's.
With St.
Southside.
Mary's. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the legit thing of there was Irie Collins, so we get that. 19-7, they end up great season there. We had Coach on last week, Coach Gilbert on last week, and he's a great guy. I mean, real mild mannered guy and real easy to work with. So we appreciate him being on last week there. 15-11 for Festus there. They end up 4-4. Hillsborough 14-12. They ended up 6-2. 10-16 for Perryville, 2-6 on the season, and DeSoto 4-23. They go 0-8 in the conference as well. Next season I think is going to be an interesting one because you take a look at what Windsor's done. They're going to lose a few, but I think it's also a chance for them to reload.
Yeah, I mean, just when you okay, this is going to be the down cycle for Windsor, they have somebody step up into that role where it's like, okay, you got the Hollis, you got, Cash Barnes, you got all those guys, and they just it's almost like kind of like a factory. It's like
Right.
lather, rinse, repeat, and it's like, okay, who's going to be that next stand-up?
Absolutely. That's taking a look here at our NJCAA standings for basically the end of the season here. Again, we'll see, take a look at Hillsborough girls, and then we'll also kind of keep an eye on
St. Vincent's Indians.
St. Vincent as well, and the North Central Pirates as well over there in the NJCAA. Good luck to them because they both could be going real deep here in the national championship. So,
Also wanted to give a shout out to Coach Ben Elick, friend of the show.
Yeah.
His unfortunately his Lady Lancers got taken down by Ursuline, but
Yeah.
great season for them going 19-9.
it seems like if they end up getting the pill with Ursuline or Principia, those are the two that they really struggle with, and it's hard because they're all private schools up there, but you got to do what you got to do to make that dance there in the Final Four. So that's our look at our fast break standings. We'll be back.
The House Bar and Grill at your Festus Pasta House is your place to watch all local high school sports live. That's right, I said live. Come in and enjoy all local high school sports brought to you live on our 5 big screen TVs from Livestream STL. Also enjoy our happy hour menu, which includes half-price pizzas, discounted appetizers, and drink specials. We are the best place to gather for your local high school sports brought to you by Livestream STL at your Festus Pasta House on Highway A, where
It's time for one of our episodes of our pick and roll segments here, and we have 4 of them. I believe that's right, 3 or 4 of them going here. We've got so many going on the pick and roll this week because we have championship coaches here, and our first coach today is going to be Tyler Bellmeyer from the Jefferson Blue Jays as we bring him in. Tyler, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great. How are you, sir?
Awesome. Hey, man, an amazing season. You guys set a school record this year with the most wins and the farthest in the very small amount of time. We're talking like 13, 14 years here. You guys have made it to the Elite Eight here with the quarterfinals here. Unfortunately, lost earlier this week. I believe to Woodland, but I mean, you got to be very, very proud and happy at the season as a whole, Coach. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just have a ton of fun coaching. If we get bounced first round or we go all the way to the Final Four, I have a great time. I mean, obviously we want to win. We want to go as far as we can, but at the end of the day, we don't take our season and only look at where we finished. We enjoy the experiences we have being with one another. I enjoy the experience that I have being with the kids, and we always have a ton of fun doing it. And we had a ton of fun this year for sure.
Perfect, perfect. Let's pick a roll time. We've got 5 questions for you, and we're going to probably buzz through this here real quick. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Let's start with the sectional game here against Soldan. We were at that game, and man, that was an amazing, just atmosphere and a great win for you guys. The school had reached this point previously, but was denied advancing in the first quarter. You went down 8 points. What was going through your mind as the team assembled to talk between the first and second quarter? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, so what really helped our team in that game is so many of our wins this season, they were not easy. We have been down lots of points, more than 8 points a lot later in games. When you look at the week before, we played a game against North County where we were down by 13 in the fourth quarter. We had a game against Saxony Lutheran later on in the year where we were down 15 at halftime. So going between the first and second quarter down by 8, we all kind of had this sense of we've been down a lot later in games. So 8 points to make up in 3 quarters is nothing for us at this point in the year. And so, as you guys saw, we had that made up within 3 to 4 minutes of the second quarter. There's just those games earlier on in the year really helped out our team in terms of they don't give up whenever they fall behind. We know that we've done this before. You take a one basket at a time approach. You can't get back 8 points on one possession. You can't get it back in 30 seconds. You got to just string together bucket, stop, and you do that for enough time and you whittle away those deficits. But yeah, I think those games earlier on in the year is just kind of what we referenced when we were down 8 at the end of the first quarter there. We've got a ton of time left in this game. We've done this before, stay in the fight. And the boys never lost the faith in any game this year. So I just think we leaned on those prior experiences we had earlier on in the year to kind of rebuild that deficit there.
Absolutely. The 2024 squad, they had a great season and had so much senior leadership this year. How were you and the coaching staff able to mold this team's identity featuring a blend of younger players and a deep bench?
Yeah, our seniors were great this year. They brought a lot of great leadership to our team. They brought a lot of great energy. Without them, we're not even close to where we were playing on Friday night. So we're super happy with our seniors. We're super glad that we had them around. And yeah, we really just built our identity on playing for one another. We've got several guys who, if they really decided they wanted to, they could put up some big numbers. But nobody was worried about their individual numbers. We really built this identity of playing for the guy next to you and playing for the team as a whole. And yeah, you may get your numbers that night or you might not. But if we win, that's what we're going for. And everybody really started to buy into that more and more as the year went along. And I think that's why you saw us make that jump from, a struggle through about December to reaching the state quarterfinal this past Friday. Was really everybody started to embrace that philosophy of team first and playing for the guy next to you. And that's what we really were able to build this team around.
Excellent. The tandem of Colton Broadwater and Cooper Frisk within the team's framework seemed to work better and better together each time, or in each game. With different skill sets, what do you think makes them so dynamic when they are on the court together?
Yeah, Colton and Cooper are just two amazing basketball players, two amazing athletes. For both of them, you've got a sophomore and a junior there. For them to not even be seniors is incredible. They both play like they're seniors. For Cooper, he's so athletic. I really, truly don't believe when he decides he's going to put his head down and get to the basket, there's not a guy in the county who's going to stay in front of him. And, when Cooper is able to blow by a guy and attract help from the post defenders, we got a 6'4" post in Colton Broadwater who's there to dump off and to lay it in. And the number of times we saw that this year was, I can't even count that high. And I'm a math teacher. So those two just work really well together, and we're super excited to have both of them coming back again next year. Because like I said, just two incredible basketball players. But yeah, the ability for Cooper to beat his man off the dribble, to lay it off to Colton, and Colton's rim finishing just got better and better as the year went along. They really work well with each other, and they again continue to develop chemistry because with being a year apart, the two of them hadn't really played together a ton before this year. Cooper was playing on last year's varsity team. Colton was playing mainly JV with a little bit of run on varsity. So at the beginning of the year, these were two guys who hadn't really played together much before. But when they continued to get more and more comfortable playing with each other as the year went along, their game and their relationship really started to blossom. And that's, again, it's just another one of those things that kind of picked up our play as the year went along.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's go back to the Valley Catholic game back on January 28th. You lost by 1 point. The team had a sizable lead, but they let it slip away. Ultimately, do you think that loss helped propel your team to greater focus down the stretch here?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think if we win that game against Valley Catholic, and I don't know if this is for certain true, but it's just a theory that I hold, that if we win that game against Valley Catholic, we probably don't come into that district championship game with the same level of focus. Maybe think, oh, well, we beat them once, we're just going to beat them again. And so the fact that we lost that game, honestly, may have been the best thing that happened to us, because we knew it was going to take every single ounce that we had to win. We knew we were going to have to play a full 32 minutes, because in that first game, we had about a 15-point lead at the end of the first quarter, and then it just dwindled the rest of the game, and we ended up losing by 1, like you said. And so I think we even had, we came out really hot in the first quarter. I think we were up. I think we had close to a 10-point lead in the first quarter of that district championship game. But again, relying on those past experiences of games, they understood, hey, that means nothing. I mean, it meant nothing last time. We were up by this much last time and we lost. Right. So we can't lay off the gas. And, it's always better when you've already seen a team once, because you know what they bring to the table. We hadn't seen a whole lot of Valley before playing them the first time. When you've played them once, you get a better understanding of what they do well, where they can hurt you, which is in a lot of spots because they're a good basketball team. But you have a better understanding of where they can hurt you and what you need to focus in on. And so we were able to do that better in that district championship game than the game back in January.
Absolutely, absolutely. Last question, we'll let you go here. 20 wins is nothing to sneeze at, especially in high school here. So congratulations on the 20-win season here, and that's after a 5-6 start. Also for capturing a district championship and notching a historical sectional victory for the school. Once the season merry-go-round is done for the boys and you're thinking back on all that's happened, what accomplishment or series of events for this season will you relish the most?
It's kind of, we talked about it at the beginning, but I just really appreciate and enjoy getting to be around those guys. The number of games we win, it's important, and we're going to try to win every single time we take the court. But at the end of the day, if we finished 0-25, I would still relish the opportunity that I had to hang out with our group of guys, because we just have a great group of guys. They're great kids. They're not selfish. They are enjoyable to be around. And I would rather go, 0-25 with our group of guys than go 25-0 with somebody else's who kids are, not enjoyable to be around. So that's what I'm going to take away from it personally. But, we also had a ton of fun wins. We talk about Colton Broadwater making a 3 to beat Saxony with about 6 seconds left. Coming back from down 13 against North County with about 6 minutes left. These boys are always going to remember. I think it's the first time in school history, maybe not the first, but one of the first times we've ever beaten Festus in school history. They enjoyed that night like no other. So just the number of fun wins that we had, the opportunity to be the first team in school history to play in a state quarterfinal, and played really well. I mean, I know we didn't end up coming up on top,
Right.
but we played really well on Friday night. We just ran into a really, really good Woodland team who's going to give Principia a really good fight in the Final Four. There's a ton that I could sit here and talk to you for 30 minutes about everything that I'm going to think about this offseason, about what we did this past year. And it just makes me look, forward to next year. It's a long 8-month off season here. But we're going to take the time to sit and think about what we did this past year, but also get ready to make another run at it next year and get through that state quarterfinal next time and hopefully get ourselves to a Final Four next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, congratulations on the season, and I know we'll see you next season here. And enjoy the off season for a little while, I guess, here. But congrats overall on an amazing season, being JCAA champs as well. So, I'm sure they're going to relish it, but they'll be back for next season.
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you guys for all the work you do for us during the season, for broadcasting the game. I know that gives great exposure to our boys. They love getting the player of the game and getting to see themselves on the broadcast. It gives them some great exposure, and so we appreciate all the work you guys do, and hope you guys have a good time during baseball season for sure.
There you go. There you go. We appreciate the kind words there, sir. So Tyler Bellmeyer from the Jefferson Blue Jays, and I'm sure we'll see him first season this year here for you guys, but lots of fun, and appreciate the time.
Absolutely, sir. Thanks so much.
Tyler Bellmeyer from the Jefferson Blue Jays. We're continuing our pick and roll segments here, and we have the Festus Lady Tigers basketball coach here, Aaron Portell, co-champs with Hillsboro here. And how you doing, Coach?
Doing well.
Awesome, awesome. Let's talk about the whirlwind of 12 months that you've gone through here. You get hired last April 2024 to lead the girls basketball program at Festus. You lead them to a 20-win campaign on that signature Portell defense, of course. In setting a very high bar for expectations in your first year, what message do you think this sends to the student athletes and support programs going forward?
Again, when I took this job, I wanted to be the best. I wanted Festus to be the best team in the county. St. Pius was really good. Hillsboro was really good. Festus was kind of below those two teams. So my goal coming in was we're going to be the best team in the county. And I thought, beating Hillsboro, that, we split with Hillsboro, but beating them for the first time. No girl in the program has beat Hillsboro, so that was new to them and something they didn't think they could do. So I thought for the first year, being co-champs, winning 20 games, I think we achieved a lot this first year that we can build on.
Absolutely. You had a hard-fought season that resulted in the Lady Tigers earning a share of the conference title with Hillsboro. Was there a standout game or sequence of games in your mind that really stood out for you this year?
There were a few games. Again, coming in, my biggest goal was just to get the girls to buy in and understand that we can be a good team. We lost to Potosi in double overtime in the first week of the season, and then we played them at Park Hill Central in that Christmas tournament for third place, and we end up beating them. And Potosi was a really good team. They got 21 wins. So that was a good win for us. The girls starting to believe, okay, we can do this. We had a win at the buzzer against Fort Zumwalt North. Won the game on the last second shot, and we hadn't practiced in days. It was the first game back from break. And you start to see the confidence grow in the girls. And then we beat Hillsboro a couple weeks later on their home court. And I think those were three games that stood out really, that where the girls started to realize they're a pretty good team.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some coaches more than others rely on outbursts and over-the-top antics in their coaching presence. Aside from obvious eye-rolling and some exasperated hand gestures, unquestionable calls or plays, you normally seem to be very cool and collected on the sidelines. Is that just an extension of your personality, or has that been cultivated by design and experience?
I think, I've been at this for 25 years now. And when I was younger, I was a little bit more, um, just a little bit more, I guess, animated in the games, where things, calls and plays and things got to me. And I realized I got onto the girls a little bit too hard. Down when it comes down to it, I really enjoy what I do. I enjoy working with these kids, and I changed the way I coach probably about 5 or 6 years in, to where I'm going to be a little bit more laid back. I'm going to respect these, I'm going to show respect. These girls are going to, in return, hopefully respect that and work hard for me. And that's kind of, the direction I went over the last 12 or 13 years.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And I've never really seen you. You're pretty even keeled. I've never seen you like animated at all. So I get that. I understand it. On this year's team, what player or players do you think embodied the most Riley Capozzo like qualities? This is a question from Scotty Lotta here. So
Yeah, I run a 1-3-1 defense. We press full court, we get after, we try to trap when we can, and to be able to be successful at that type of defense, you need a girl up top at the point, that can be very efficient at that. Riley Capozzo was great at that for 4 years. So coming into it, for us to be successful, we had to have somebody be able to nail that spot defensively. And Lily Kennedy, our sophomore, I thought really brought that. She bought into it. She figured it out, and because of that, I thought we were very successful defensively.
excellent, excellent. I agree with you on that. That was a good choice there. Last question, we'll let you go here, Coach. Now that the season is done and with only losing one senior in Liz Gaggs, what are you most excited about next year?
Again, this first year was beyond what I thought we were going to be able to do. The girls kind of bought into it. They worked really hard. We were young. We only got one senior. I had a lot of sophomores and freshmen playing varsity. So I just hope that we realize, this isn't gonna take as long as I thought. We had a good year this year, 20 wins, conference champ, or share of conference champs. But I think next year, with what we got coming back, we can prove, to the county that we're the best team in here.
Excellent, excellent. Looking forward to it, and good luck to you during the off season here, and I'm sure we'll see you next season.
All right, thank you.
Congrats on the co-champs as well there, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Coach Aaron Portell from the Festus Tigers. Continuing on our pick and roll segment here, we've got Coach Andrew Hubbard from the Hillsboro Hawks. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. How are you, Ray?
Wonderful, wonderful. You are still in the hunt here, and congratulations on the co-champs for the JCAA large school girls. But you've got other things to think about as well here as you're battling for district championships. So things are still rolling here, and how are things going with the ladies?
It's going well. Girls are getting. It's a long season, so we're having to really push through some things and try to keep our focus. Especially with the nice weather coming outside, they're getting kind of tired of being in the gym. But as I said, we had practice today, and it was the girls did a nice job, and they're pushing through, and I think they're looking forward to Tuesday night.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's get to our questions here real quick, our pick and roll questions. From the outside looking in here, it would appear that you've had a pretty stressful 3 to 4 weeks, and that's probably an understatement, with the drive to secure the conference co-championship against the scheduled opponents and Mother Nature throwing some wrenches into the works there as well. How were you able to balance game readiness for your players without draining their energy reserves this deep into the season?
It was very difficult. This by far the most snow days and weather that we had to deal with in my coaching career. So it was a nice mixture of trying to find the days where we could really push the girls this late in the season, which I'm not really used to. I'm kind of used to just maintaining things and this late. So it was trying to find that nice mixture. And honestly, a big part of it was talking to my girls and having their input and hearing on the days that we could kind of go a little bit harder, we did. And the days they felt like they needed a little bit of a breather, we'd relax a little bit. But yeah, it's been a difficult challenge for us going down this stretch.
Absolutely. The further you progress into March, the more difficult the path becomes. What positives and helpful insights were you able to take away from the John Burroughs game that ended last season?
Oh, that was by far obviously the longest that I've had to coach in a season. And, I think we're kind of the things that we've taken from there is just kind of, again, maintaining some of the things that we've done, trying to lighten up on the girls, especially this late. I think, what was it? I think March 8th last year was when we played John Burroughs. So
Yeah.
we're going to end up, playing Tuesday, and it's 3 days later this season than it was last year. And, as you said, having down the stretch, it's been really grueling for us. We played some really tough teams, had some really far, games that we traveled to, Borgia, and then traveled the next night to Perryville. And then now we've been going down to Cape Central. So it's been tough. So it's been, again, trying to take that, we want to push, but at the same time, the girls are still, they're girls and they're kids. They need to be able to have that time to relax and let their bodies rest. So it's been, again, kind of juggling off of that. But last year it was a nice learning experience to be able to figure out, how we could mix those times and those practices together.
Exactly. In getting to see your program several times over the last couple of seasons, it's clear how much you, your staff, the players, and the parents invest in this team. Outside of getting a win, what are some of the most gratifying aspects of your coaching experience?
For me personally, honestly, it's just getting a lot of time with the girls. The group I had last year, the seniors, I had actually spent probably actually 6 years together with them, because I think when they were in sixth or seventh grade, I started helping them and kind of being around them. And then once they got to high school, I had most of them for all 4 years up on varsity. And so it was a lot of fun just getting to spend that time with them. And we put a lot of time and effort into things, and we get to spend a lot of time with these girls. I mean, I'll be honest, over the winter, I think I see them more than their parents do. And so it's fun to me, though. I get to see them grow on and off the floor, and you get to know them not just as athletes, but you get to know them as kids. And that to me is a lot of fun. And then after the seasons, like I know I've got a couple girls that I go out every once in a while and we'll have dinner and stuff, so I get to hear about how they're doing. And I think that's the most fun for me as well, is getting to hear when they've moved on, the success that they're having, and becoming adults, and get to see them become, and meet those goals that they have outside of sports.
Absolutely. In some around the area like to put a team's success more at the feet of having talented athletes over coaching influence, but as we see in other sports, a team's core of chemistry and clear team identity can breed momentum and success even with less perceived talent, so to speak. Is there a formula like 50-50 of team and coaching in your opinion, or is it more complicated than that?
In my opinion, I think it's a little more complicated. I think every team's kind of different. When you have certain teams, it depends on their personality. Some teams you can ride a lot harder than others. You can really push them harder, and they'll respond to those types of things. Some you got to kind of give a little bit more leeway. You got to kind of talk to them a little bit more. I think it just really depends on those coaches. And then honestly, too, in my opinion, being a coach, you got to coach to your personality. You kind of will adapt and adjust to the girls, but I like to push and I like to do things, as hard as I can. And so thankfully my girls, they kind of have that personality as well. And, as I said, I've got 4 or 5 girls that stayed after today, and they're shooting every day. And, it's fun to see that, when you have those girls that are willing to put that time and effort in outside of just practice. And I think that's one thing for us that's led to our success is, the amount of time and effort these girls do put in outside of just, the 4 months in season.
Absolutely. Final question, we'll let you go here. Obviously, each year you graduate some seniors and cycle folks again, next fall it will be. What will you miss most about this year's group of seniors as they move forward in their high school careers beyond high school basketball?
These two, one of them I've known for a very long time. I'm really good friends with her dad. I actually play golf with him a bunch. I had her brother in first grade years ago, so I've gotten to see her grow, not just again on the floor, but off the floor. And she's a great kid. She works extremely hard. She puts a ton of time in, and she's accepted the role that we've asked her to have. And that's a huge part of something that I think not a lot of teams always appreciate is just girls that accept their roles and play to the best of their ability. So, the other senior that I have, she's an extremely hard worker, great kid, very smart. Both of them are extremely smart, but it's again having them to play those roles and do those things in practice that not a lot of people like to do, and it's tough to replace that because again that we've where you said like that culture that I think they've helped build and I think they've been a part of. And in their group, we've only got two this year. For them to stick it out and push through whenever, again, I'm a tough coach and I ask a lot of the girls, says a lot about who they are. And, we're definitely going to miss them next year. It'll definitely be an adjustment, but it's been a lot of fun getting to see them grow and become, the individuals that they are.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Amazing season, and it's still not done. So good luck to you, and congratulations on the co-champs as well. But we're looking to see, we're looking to hopefully cover you next week sometime. So that would be great, right?
That would be fantastic. We're really hoping. We're going to take it one game at a time, but our hope is definitely to get to hopefully have another game. And we think that this year, if we do win districts, we get to host. So we're hoping to give it our best shot on Tuesday, and then hopefully we get to have a game where a bunch of people can come out and watch.
Good deal, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Thank you very much, Ray.
Coach Andrew Hubbard from the Hillsboro Hawks. Our pick and roll segment continues here as we have on the line here the coach from the Lady Indians of St. Vincent here, Mel Kern, the JCAA conference champs up here. Congrats, coach, this year. And I know you're still in the hunt here, making it to the Final Four here in the small schools for, I believe that District 2, is that correct?
District 3.
District 3. Okay, my apologies on that.
That's all right.
We'll get that all set up. But congratulations on an amazing season so far. You guys are still rolling. And let's start our pick and roll questions here for you, all right?
All righty.
Here we go. After a tremendous season 2 years ago, the team had an uneven season last year, building on last year's experience. How was this year's team able to elevate their efforts into such great success?
Well, last year we had 3 girls that blew out their ACLs, and that was a total of 45 points. It was Allie Patrick and Lana Adams and Haley Emmendorfer, and they blew out their ACL, and they worked really hard to get back this year. And then we had Olivia Ellis, Mallory Patrick, and Riley Robertson coming back. And then last spring, we had 2 girls transfer in, Kate Rubel and Bree Rubel. They're twins from down in Notre Dame and Cape. They transferred in. So we knew it was going to be a good season. We just didn't know how everybody was going to gel together. And it's turned out to be a family is what it's turned out to be. The girls get along very well, and they've worked very hard together. And they got, we had 3 things in mind: win conference, win districts, and get to go to the Final Four. So we get to go to the Final Four. We won the other 2. So hopefully we can make a good showing when we get to the Final Four.
Absolutely. You've checked all the boxes and you're there, my friend. As a 5th-year coach of the program, how do you compare and contrast your experience with the program now that as opposed to your first year heading into the final stretch of games?
Well, what's really funny about this thing is when these seniors were 8th graders, they asked me for an interview. So I went and got an interview, and I got the job. And my great niece was an 8th grader, and she said, "Now we're going to play next year. Are you going to coach?" And I said, "Yes, I'll coach, and I'll definitely stay unless they don't want me. I'll definitely stay until you're all seniors." And I've stayed, and these 4 seniors are just like my daughters.
I love them to death. I love all my players. I mean, the girls are just so down to earth, and there's no drama or nothing like that. And so then four seniors, they've showed a lot of leadership. And I'll tell you about three of them seniors for sure are two seniors and a junior. The ones that last year was hurt was Haley Emmendorfer, Allie, and Lana. And they all blew it out. Allie blew hers out 5 games into the season.
Mm,
And we knew it was going to be tough, and we knew he was going to have a younger ball club. We had one senior, which was Caitlin Pro, and she done an excellent job, but she had to play with a lot of young girls. But every practice, every game, unless they had therapy or a doctor's appointment, Allie, Haley, and Lana showed up for practices and games.
nice.
And to me, that is leadership.
Yes.
That is something to be. You don't see that very often. When somebody blows their knee out or whatever, and having three of them, you don't see them come back and sit there and come to practice. But they come to practice and sit on the bench during the game and helped our younger players so well that our JV program this year was 10-2.
Wow.
And also they did a lot to help them girls up, and they just grew up to be young ladies and good leadership.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great story there. It seems like on a yearly basis, the St. Vincent's basketball programs, along with the other athletic teams, always have a competitive and formidable style of play. Is there something in the water down there, or do you see an underlying common thread with your athletic teams?
I just see them working together so well. It's a lot of them has played like a lot of these girls here, except for the Rubles. These girls have played together since they was in fourth and fifth grade, playing down at Cape and leagues and all this, and they just got to be used to each other and play with each other, and they just it's a really close knit school. We have a lot of good kids, and they play sports. I can't remember the figure. I think one time this year we had out of all of our students, we had like 104 of them playing some kind of sports. And when you take that kind of quantity out of 170 or whatever, it's just a great feeling. And they just play together. They care about each other, and they kid around with each other and make each other better.
Awesome. Awesome. Excellent. Excellent. In the here and now and in years past, who has given you inspiration and ignited your passion to coach and guide these young athletes?
Well, I use a lot of my quotes from Coach Gatlin, my coach back in the 70s. Coach Gatlin was one of my guys I looked up to, and I've used a lot of his quotes over the years. Like, you worry about me when I quit yelling at you. I gave up on you if I quit yelling at you. And when you walk through that door, have a smile on your face and want to be here. And it's really been Coach Gatlin uh, back in my school years that it meant a lot to me. And he was from Doniphan, Missouri. Him and Joe Gilliam was both from down in Doniphan, and I think they was both point guards, and they made the all state team back then. And I think they're even in the Missouri Hall of Fame, I think for sure. But it was just guys like that I listened to, and I wasn't a very good basketball player until I got to be a junior in high school. But I learned a lot from just the way they treated people. And I even, when I first started coaching high school, I was using some of the plays that Coach Gatlin had set up for us. So that's kind of where I come from, the old school part of it.
Excellent. Excellent. Last question. We'll let you go here. Coach, over the past last handful of years watching the players come through the programs, in your opinion, are there some past or current players that you would encourage to pursue a future in coaching?
Well, it's funny that you say that because there is one that is already doing a tremendous job that I coached in grade school. I coached in grade school for about 12 years at St. Vincent's, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade high school, or sixth, seventh, eighth grade school. And one of them is Scott Pingle, the head coach and AD at CBC.
Nice.
He was our neighbor. Him and my son played so much together, and we'd come home one day and there'd be all kinds of different balls out there. They'd be playing everything. But Scott Pingle was probably the best one, but there's been other kids that's come through and done a wonderful job. It's like right now I'm coaching some girls that I coached their fathers and mothers back in grade school.
Okay.
So it's kind of been a family rotate coming around and everything. So and now some of them parents are coaching the grade school kids that so it's kind of been a full circle, and we all get along. We all ask questions to each other, and there's no ego problems. There's everybody wants to learn from each other, and I always told the kids there's not a bad question. If you've got a question on your mind, always ask it, because how else can we answer anything if you got it on your mind?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great words of wisdom there, Coach. Man, we appreciate the time and rooting for you guys, and hoping you guys come out of there with a state championship. That'd mean a whole lot, I'm sure, to the area here. But again, congrats and good luck to you coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
I appreciate it very much.
Mel Kern from the St. Vincent Indians. Now time for our Hoops Whisperer. We got to put the Hoops Whisperer to bed, unfortunately, because next episode we're crossing over with the Main Street Sports for the standouts. But the Hoops Whisperer is in the house. Mr. Scotty, take it away.
As they say, one more time, with feeling.
With feeling.
So in episode 7, I kind of implored all the coaches, players, parents, supporters of the programs to kind of take a minute and kind of appreciate the ride to this point. So with this more than likely being the finale of the Fast Break show before, as you said, it becomes becomes the Main Street Sports season.
Sure.
How about we look at some sports with nets, kind of like basketball? How about like area soccer? How about volleyball? In basketball, when a team has like a big win, like a postseason win, or they beat like a rival, or, it's like a conference tournament or something and they win, what do? They cut down the nets. How come we don't see that in like volleyball or soccer? You get a big win, you get a big postseason win, you get a championship, you get those, industrial really sharp shears, and you go around and cut down the soccer nets, cut down the volleyball nets.
Because their nets don't cost $20. They cost like $500. That's why.
But I'm saying, come on. I mean, that would be must-see TV. All right, the players are getting done. They're exhausted, and they're cutting down the nets. It's just carnage out there. They can't get a clean cut on this net. The volleyball court will never be the same again.
Unbelievable. There you go. The wonderful Hoops Whisperer. And we put the Hoops Whisperer to bed. Thank you, Scotty. It's been a fun season of the Hoops Whisperer, and we'll see if we're going to bring that back next year.
It might.
We might.
But for all of us here at Livestream STL, thank you for the amazing season and the handful of local teams still fighting to push forward into March. Good luck.
Absolutely. Let's just go ahead and wrap it up right here.
All right.
Let's do it. Okay. We don't have to have another break in between, because we don't have a player of the week as well either this week. So
now we have coaches of the week.
So we have coaches of the week, and we'll get to that, or we probably already have gotten to that. Maybe we'll just see.
We did.
We did. That's right. We did. So there you go, folks. We appreciate you checking out Fast Break here at the new studio and whatnot, and we've had a lot of fun. We crossed things over. Stay tuned for the standout show that we're going to do for Main Street Sports, and we'll have Jeff Whitener come in and put this thing to bed for basketball as we turn things to
Jeff Whitener. Yeah, that's his baby.
That's his baby. There it is. For Scott Latta, for Ray Halbrook, thanks for being a part of Fast Break. Don't forget, again, you can check out all of our shows and all of our games over on livestreamstl.tv, along with the Livestream STL app on Roku. Just search there on Roku for Livestream STL. For Scott Latta, for Ray Halbrook, all of us here at Fast Break, have a wonderful evening.
This episode is brought to you by Livestream STL. Livestream STL covers Jefferson County and the South St. Louis area. For sponsorship opportunities for any of these events, call 314-852-4398. Sponsorships can be for a single game, complete season, or a custom package. Help spotlight the young athletes of our area and score a layup for your business with new potential customers.
Thanks for watching today's broadcast. Any unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of Livestream STL is strictly prohibited.